In the middle of the 14th century, the world faced a nightmare like never before. A mysterious plague spread across continents, faster than any army, deadlier than any war, and more terrifying than anything humanity had witnessed. It began far from Europe, traveling silently along vast trade routes. Merchants, caravans, and ships unknowingly carried death with them. No one realized that inside their cargo traveled the end of the world. The plague's true carrier was small, unnoticed, and ignored. Rats. And inside the fleas on those rats lived a deadly killer, a bacteria known as Yersinia pestis. Invisible, unstoppable, and merciless. When the plague finally reached Europe in 1347, terror followed instantly. Ships arrived at ports filled with sailors either dying or already dead. Townspeople stared in horror as disease stepped onto their shores. Within days, entire cities were infected. Streets filled with the sound of coughing, screaming, and fear. Communities collapsed as panic spread faster than the disease itself. The symptoms were horrifying. Painful swellings appeared under the arms and in the groin. Fevers burned the body. Skin darkened. Blood filled the lungs. Victims suffered in agony before death finally came. People could go to sleep healthy and never wake up. Or worse, wake up to suffering beyond imagination. Death moved silently, striking randomly, taking children, parents, kings, peasants, priests. No one was safe. Fear controlled society. Friends refused to see each other. Families abandoned loved ones. Entire neighborhoods were left empty as people locked themselves inside their homes, praying not to be next. Doctors had no answers. Medicine at that time could not understand germs or bacteria. Treatments were desperate guesses. Bloodletting, herbal bags, charms, prayers. Nothing could stop the plague. The world turned to religion. Churches filled with desperate prayers. Many believed the plague was a punishment from God. Others thought it was witchcraft or a curse placed upon humanity. But when prayers failed to stop the deaths, faith began to break. People questioned religion. They questioned leaders. They questioned everything they believed in. Dead bodies filled homes, streets, and churches. There were not enough people left to bury the dead. Mass graves were dug. Bodies were burned. Cities smelled not of life, but of death. Society collapsed. Kings lost control. Governments fell silent. Trade stopped. Work ended. The world slowly began shutting down as humanity struggled just to survive one more day. Entire villages disappeared. Maps had to be redrawn because some towns simply no longer existed. Places that once echoed with laughter now echoed only with memories. The plague showed no mercy. It killed rich and poor alike. Castles and palaces offered no protection. Royalty died just as quickly as commoners. The disease cared for no titles. Fear also created anger. People searched desperately for someone to blame. Foreigners, travelers, outsiders, minorities. Hate and violence rose alongside death. Doctors began wearing strange bird-like masks filled with herbs, believing they could filter out the disease. These terrifying outfits became symbols of death itself, walking reminders of doom. At its peak, the Black Death wiped out a huge part of Europe's population. Millions died. Some estimates say nearly half of Europe vanished in just a few years. Humanity stood on the edge of extinction. The world as people knew it seemed to be ending. Silence replaced life. Graveyards replaced neighborhoods. Hope faded. And then, slowly, the plague began to weaken. Fewer people died. Cities cautiously reopened. Survivors stepped out into a world forever changed. Life returned. But nothing was the same. With so many people gone, labor became rare. Workers gained power. Serfs demanded freedom. Wages rose. Feudalism began to collapse. Society reshaped itself. New opportunities appeared. The entire social structure of Europe began to transform in unexpected ways because of the plague's destruction. Religion changed forever too. Many people lost blind faith and began to question authority. This new thinking helped spark future intellectual revolutions. The plague also planted the seeds of science. People wanted answers. They wanted real explanations, not superstition. This curiosity would one day lead to major medical and scientific advancements. Culture changed as well. Art, writing, and storytelling began to reflect pain, fear, and awareness of how fragile life truly is. Humanity developed a deeper understanding of mortality. Yet the plague was not truly gone. It returned in waves over the centuries. But the world eventually learned to fight it. Knowledge grew. Medicine advanced. Science became humanity's armor. Even today, the bacteria that caused the Black Death still exists. But now, it can be treated. What once nearly destroyed humanity is now a disease doctors can control. The Black Death was not only a story of death, it was also a story of survival. A story of human strength tested to its limits. But not broken. It reshaped nations. It transformed economies. It changed faith. It redirected the entire course of world history. The world that emerged after the plague was completely different from the one before it. This tragedy teaches us how fragile civilization truly is, but also how incredibly strong humanity can be when faced with darkness. The Black Death almost ended humanity. But instead, it forced humanity to evolve, adapt, and rebuild stronger than before. We remember the suffering. We remember the loss. But we also remember the resilience of those who lived through it and rebuilt the world. Because history is not only about what was destroyed, but also about what survived, and humanity survived.